travelers! My name is Allison Root, and this is Magical Roots Travel Planning. So welcome to our first video that we're posting. We're going to be discussing our recent trip on the Bourbon Trail. This is my husband, Nick.
Hello.
He's the one I drag along with me when I go traveling. Exactly. So we'll be talking today on this video about just overall what we did each day. There'll be 2 other videos coming out in regards to the Bourbon Trail. We're going to be doing a distillery ranking. And then our other video is going to be tips and tricks, like what worked for us, what didn't work for us. So if you're planning a trip on the Bourbon Trail, make sure to check out all these videos because they'll be extremely helpful.
And if you hear anything in the background like noises, that's probably our dog.
Our dog, Winnie.
I'm the bourbon connoisseur, I guess you could say. I kind of convinced her to do this trip. So the distillery ranking is going to be just of the ones that we toured. So it's not going to be like every single distillery there. We still have a lot of distilleries that we didn't get to see. And we didn't get to tour, and we'll talk more in depth about that later, but so for this one, it's just going to be kind of like our trip and talking about what we did. And we think we kind of probably overdid it a bit. So you'll see what all we did, and then our tips and tricks that comes later, you'll see like what we probably shouldn't have done based on what we talk about. So you want to start?
Sure. So we drove. We did not fly. I'm just going to preface that now because I knew the amount of bourbon he was going to come back with. So
I'll post a picture like right here.
I didn't know the amount you were coming back with, but I knew it was going to be more than what we could take.
I told her the amount of money I was taking to spend, and we went over that. So
yeah, we'll get to that. So we drove down. It was a very long drive.
Because we're from Iowa.
We are from Iowa. We're from the Midwest. So we did stop about halfway, roughly, a little over halfway. Stayed overnight because it was too long of a drive because we left after work. And then next day we just proceeded. So day 1, we headed to Frankfort, Kentucky, which houses several distilleries. The first one we stopped at though was Castle and Key. Now personally, I've never heard of Castle and Key.
I mean, I hadn't heard of it either. It was kind of like one of those that popped out to us when we were kind of looking at distilleries to visit in the area. And they have more than just bourbon. They have, I think they have vodka and gin as well.
Yes. Especially gin. We had actually brought back a bottle of gin and a bottle of whiskey. But the grounds were gorgeous. I think they were one of the best grounds I remember seeing. With the architecture and just the history was really interesting too. But we did do a tasting, which was really fun. We did not do a tour here, but we did a tasting, and that was really interesting to see. And
it was just very simple. It was up at the bar. It wasn't like a design tasting that you go into a room and somebody guides you through it. They just kind of like gave us almost more like a flight, if anything.
And we split that one.
And we did split. We split a lot of stuff on this trip.
One. Yeah, we did. There's no way.
We did that, and then we ended up picking up the rye, I think, and we picked up the gin.
It was called Rise. I know the gin was called Rise.
They have a few different gins, and it was really interesting. So
their shop was really cool too. I thought their shop was really cool. You kind of had to go to one of the main buildings, and you had to go down these stairs to get into it. I remember going down steps. Yeah. And it was just so cool. Like it was just such a historical building, but then the inside was so modern and. Yeah.
So the outside looks like a castle. Obviously, it's called Castle and Key, and it's based on, I mean, it's in the old Taylor Distilling Company that doesn't exist anymore, but it was really cool. And that I think also like Woodford or someplace is nearby there as well. It's the opposite way.
Opposite way.
But the cool thing about driving up, first thing in the morning was we were able to hit something like right away instead of like getting in at night and then having to wake up in the morning and then do stuff and wait for. Most distilleries opened around 9 or 10, so your early morning is just waking up, getting breakfast. So it was nice to kind of like be able to take that drive portion and then get there and just start doing stuff.
And then our second stop, which ended up being one of my favorites personally, but I can bring that up in the distillery ranking. But Wild Turkey, which shocked me because I've always known about Wild Turkey. You hear about Wild Turkey, you see Wild Turkey. It never was my favorite. When I first started drinking Wild Turkey products, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Wild Turkey 101's like the main go. I would use that in old fashioned, but they really weren't into kind of like the higher end bourbons until Jimmy Russell's son started doing like the Russell's Reserve and everything like that, which we do have one of those, and I specifically wanted to do the Russell's Reserve tour more so for the chance at tasting a Russell's 13 or Russell's 15, not necessarily getting the ability to buy it.
Yeah, that was a fun little surprise. So, tour was amazing. Honestly, it was one of my favorite tours of the entire trip. I loved our tour guide, and I know I noted it here. Sorry, we're referencing over here because I wrote down everything.
We have a little blog. I'll post the blog in the caption.
Yes,
of the
it's
video,
on my website. So definitely check blogs out. Oh, Dwight. Dwight was his name. Shout out to Dwight if he ever sees this. But
we're also filming this way late. Like, we did this back in September, and we're filming this at the end of March. So we are way behind in this video. Behind. So bear with us.
It's my journey into making videos. So yeah, bear with me. But yeah, it was an amazing tour, the Russell's Reserve tour.
They have a few different ones.
Yeah. It was a group of 12 people, so it was very small, and we got to go through some of the rick houses, and taste some different things. It was cool.
Yeah, I really like their space. They've renovated a lot in the past few years, and they're actually like adding another still, I think, to do some more experimental stuff. So like there was some construction going on. So if you end up going there, be careful. There might be some construction in the way. But the coolest thing I think was actually Jimmy Russell actually. He and his wife usually are there in the afternoons, I found out, and he'll just sign a bottle and chat to you. So we got some bottles signed, which is really cool. And yeah, I got to chat with him. And so that was basically our first day. We tried to only stick to like 2 tours a day or so, or two distilleries. And maybe like a quick visit here and there to a few others because we didn't want to overdo it, even though we still did.
So that is a pro tip that if you go there in the afternoons, be sure to see if Jimmy Russell and his wife are there because it was really cool. Also, another tidbit at this place, the scenery is gorgeous, first off. But if you go upstairs, there's a bar. And just, even if you're not going to drink, check it out, the view from up there, because it is really pretty.
Yeah, and when we went, it was a little bit chillier. So like they do have like an outside area that you can even like sit and like have a drink at, but there wasn't really
it wasn't open. It wasn't even open
really
because
open,
it was too cold.
Yeah.
So, but we did have the opportunity to purchase 2 bottles of Russell's 13 because everybody in the tour got a bottle token. So my husband looks at me while we're on this bus when Dwight is telling us, "Oh, you'll have the opportunity to buy, this reserve bottle that they only make so many of." And he just turns to me, he's like, You're buying a bottle, and I'm just going to reimburse you. I'm like, okay. Yeah. $200 later.
And I'll preface this also on our distillery ranking video that like that is not a guaranteed thing if you do the Russell's tour. Because I was thinking you would get to taste something from the like a higher end lineup. But yeah, the opportunity for a bottle is not like a guaranteed thing.
And we just, it was like...
It's one of those things where I think they had some bottles on hand, I think is basically what it was.
Yeah.
And they basically, it was until they were out. So, I mean, if we had done like a later tour, like towards the end of the day, it's possible that they might have been sold out. So, it just kind of depends.
Yeah. But yeah, that was Wild Turkey. Also, if you guys were curious of what the tasting was for Russell's, which it might change up, it was Russell 10, Russell Single Barrel Rye, and Russell 13.
So the 10 and the Single Barrel and the Single Barrel Rye are probably very much just like always in there. And then I think they change it up probably with that last one with whatever's on hand, whether it be like a Russell's Reserve Rick House or something like that, or the 13 that they had. And then that was kind of our end of the day. We headed to our hotel, which where did we stay down there?
The Delegate was where we stayed the first night. Delegate was an awesome hotel. It's one of those boutique hotels that it's not a chain. It was so cool, so modern. I really liked the overall feel of it. And they did have a really nice restaurant inside as well. We just didn't check it out because it was
It seemed a little spendy for what we were wanting.
Yeah, so we did check out, this is another great place to check out. What was it called? Oh, shoot. Well, the restaurant in the hotel was called Cypress and Oak. But we did go somewhere local, Bourbon on Main.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went on Bourbon on Main. They had good food. It was okay.
Yeah, it was a
nice little like local spot in a smaller town in Kentucky, and people were super nice, and we sat outside, which was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, they had some fun. Nice. They had some fun drinks. We got like a drink to go with the meal. So I will say that the parking at the Delegate is a little rough. They do have like an area like delegated for you. Haha, funny. Because it's called the Delegate, but it's like somewhat away. We managed to get parking like on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And it's like a long, like steep hill. So just be aware that if you do decide to stay there, parking could be a mix.
And it may be better now because when we went, they were still trying to figure it out.
We decided to do kind of like a half and half day. So like our morning of day 2, we went to Buffalo Trace, which is still in Frankfurt, and then we made the drive to Bardstown. So.
Well, but we did it in an interesting way though, because remember.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, pro tip when it comes to Buffalo Trace. Every morning, they do an allocation drop. And it rotates, so you never quite know what you're going to stumble upon. There is a site out there, I don't remember what it's called.
I think it's Buffalo Trace Daily.
Something like that.
I'll post a link to that in the description as well, and probably like put a thing up here for it. But they
guess. They basically make guesses on what's.
It's a very good guess because usually, especially if it's towards the end of the week, they'll see what has happened throughout the week. And they'll be like, well, let's see. Weller was at the beginning of the week, but then it hasn't been for the past few days, so you'll probably see Weller. They also sometimes have very like special drops. Like I saw the other day, they had Weller Antique 107 available, which for us, we just had the bare usual stuff. So you had Blanton's, was a possibility, Weller Special Reserve, E.H. Taylor Small Batch, and Eagle Rare. So like those are like the main 4. And then sometimes they'll have more allocated stuff in there, like the Weller Antique 107, a Stag, the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proofs. Those aren't a guarantee every day. So ours, we specifically had the opportunity to get
Eagle Rare,
one each of Eagle Rare and Weller.
Taylor.
Yeah, an E.H. Taylor, and then they also had Weller Special Reserve as well. So we got 2 H. Taylor, 2 Eagle Rare, and 1 of the Weller because I already had a Weller.
Yeah.
So,
but I would recommend going there pretty early. There's already usually a line. The colder months, I feel like you can kind of risk it a little bit by being there a little later, but if it's super nice out, I would try to get there pretty early.
I would try to get there at least 45 minutes early.
Yeah, if not an hour.
Yeah, because I think we ended up getting there, was it 45 or 30? It was, and there was still, we still had a bit of a line to get in.
It was, well, we were pretty high up there, but it was, I think we were there at least 45 minutes before. Yeah. At least. Because that morning we went to that local coffee shop.
That's right. Yep. There was a local coffee shop that we went to.
Which was awesome.
Which is really
nice. I
nice.
have it written down on that one too. It was called Kentucky Coffee Tree Cafe.
Really
kind of very vintagey.
Yeah, hole in the wall type place. Great. The coffee was delicious. I think I had like an iced mocha or something. And then we split like a bagel sandwich or something. Yeah.
It was great. No qualms, and I would go back. Like, I want to go back and stay in that area because it was in historic Frankfurt area, which is what I really liked. It was just so cool. I'd want to spend like a day there and just look at some of the shops and stuff.
Yeah, because they had like that historical like museum too, like there that we didn't get a chance to even go to because we were so like bourbon focused.
So anyway.
So we did the allocation.
Allocation first.
We had a tour set up, but it wasn't until noon. So the thing about Buffalo Trace is the best thing about it is the tours are free. Any other distillery you go to, you're paying for a tour, sometimes a premium price. When you book the tour for Buffalo Trace, you get to book it, I think it's 30 days in advance.
It might be slightly more, but tour dates are normally released every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So just depending where you live in the States, just keep that in mind. I
think it's based on the week you go. So like even if it's released on the Wednesday, but if you were going on like that Saturday, because I think we were there on a Thursday or Friday. So even though it wasn't a full like 30 days, it was that week of. So we were able to do it on that Wednesday.
I'm pretty sure it's 30 days.
Yeah,
but
okay.
But just keep an eye out for it. They explain it all on the website. You just go directly to Buffalo Trace's website. But make those reservations as soon as you can because they do fill up.
I was trying to get an earlier thing at like a 10 a.m. we did the hard hat tour, which was not my favorite. We'll talk about that more.
We'll talk about that.
But that one filled up really fast. Like that 10 a.m. was gone. So I was able to get the noon one. And then they have a few others. They have like an E.H. Taylor one. They have just like a very traditional one. And another cool thing about Buffalo Trace is the tastings are also free. And if you aren't interested or you've already done a tour there, you can just go upstairs and whatever tasting they have for the day, you can just do a free tasting. So yeah, we didn't do that right away. Obviously, we went for the allocation and then we had time to kill. So we ended up driving back towards where Castle and Key was. and
went the other direction.
And we went to Woodford Reserve because Woodford is really big here in Iowa. A lot of people really like it. I actually don't have a bottle of Woodford on my staple.
I'm surprised you didn't buy that one bottle that tasted like banana bread.
Yeah, so we just wanted to check it out. It's really, really cool, nice grounds. I've heard the tour is really nice.
We bumped into
one of her coworkers.
Not coworker.
Sorry,
like boss.
her bosses there, which is really funny.
Oh gosh.
But we ended up just kind of we just tasted something. We didn't do a tasting there. We just tried something.
You bought a pour.
I bought a pour. They had a single malt, which I hadn't really seen them do a lot of. So I got that one, and it literally smelled and tasted like banana bread.
Literally.
It was so good. I wanted to buy it so bad, but it was a
expensive.
375 milliliter bottle, like a half of a normal size bottle, was $100 or more. It was like $125.
No fam.
And I'm sorry, I'm not paying that much money for half of a full bottle. No. If it had been for a 750 milliliter bottle, sure, I might have gotten it. But no, not for... And I really like American single malts lately, so I was very sad that I couldn't bring that home.
I was this close to buying it for him for Christmas, but I couldn't do it secretly, so...
You never told me that.
I never did, because I was like, oh, I'm going to buy this for him if I ever see it, but no.
No, I think it was a distillery only
It was.
thing.
And that's the thing, like, some of the distilleries, like, they offer bottles that you can only get at the distillery.
That's usually a thing at any distillery, really, because I work at one here in Iowa, and we have distillery only bottles that we sell to. So, I mean, it's definitely something to look out for anytime you're in Kentucky or even at any distillery in your area, like, what bottle is an exclusive that you can only get at the distillery.
Which I did pick up on at one, but we can talk about that later. But no, beautiful. It's a really pretty area to go check out if you're just checking it out. And honestly, if you even want to check any of these places out without booking a tour or anything like that, you can. Just know you're going to kind of be limited to what you can do. You can
walk the grounds. You can do a tasting at the bar. You can peruse the bottles.
But they had a really nice patio.
That patio was nice.
It was very nice. So I think we might go back for sure and see if maybe we can score a tour or something.
Yeah, tour or a tasting or something. Yeah. The next time we definitely want to do more like experiences, not necessarily tours.
Yes.
Because when you've done one tour, you've just about done them all. It's just a matter of seeing like slight differences in their process.
But it was still cool to be able to experience everything. Yes. Just as a first hand, it was really neat.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we went back to Buffalo Trace, did our tour, the Hard Hat Tour, which was all about the process. So if you're really interested in like the whole process, that's basically what that was. Going through the grain, the mash, the fermentation,
I will point out though, this particular tour, we did go into some areas that were very loud. So if you have any hearing like sensitivities or anything like that, like I'm half deaf, so there were times I couldn't hear our tour guide.
And they provide earplugs for those, but it's and he has a little mic, but it's still, especially with the earplugs in, it's kind of hard to hear even with the mic that he has.
And with that kind of a tour, and honestly with any of these tours, please wear tennis shoes. Don't wear sandals. Don't wear ladies' heels, anything like that. Like just wear.
Some websites do require some of the tours on the website when you sign up state like make sure you're wearing closed-toed shoes. So we did that, and then we head down to Bardstown, Kentucky. And then we went to Bardstown Bourbon Company, which...
this was a beautiful distillery.
It's definitely one of the more modern ones.
So cool.
You can tell that in, their model, how the rickhouses look, and just how they present it.
A lot of glass windows. Very interesting approach how they did it.
Yep. So we just did the normal tour there, which was very nice. Our
tour guide was awesome though, because he really led you through how to do a tasting. Yeah. Like he said, oh well, like smell this way or cover a nostril and then do this. Oh, you need to chase this down with water to get the full flavor profile.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I know you taught me kind of how to taste whiskey, but it was nice to hear from another person too.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the more comedic side that he had.
Yes,
for sure.
He was more of the entertaining tours of our trip.
Yeah,
and Dwight. I think those two are my favorites.
I will say the bar was also very, very cool.
Very cool.
We ordered.
Poutine.
We had a poutine, which was very delicious.
Which get there if you want food, make sure you get there. I believe before 4.
Yeah.
Because the kitchen does close down at 4.
Yeah, and so we managed to get that before kitchen closes. And then we each got a drink. I got like I didn't get an old fashioned. I got something else, which was okay, but it wasn't as good.
I think I got an old fashioned, and it was really.
You got the old fashioned, which was really good. Yes.
Also, if you're going at more of a prime time, you can make reservations on their website. Yeah. So if you're worried about getting in like before a tour and you want like food beforehand, just make a reservation. They seem to have a pretty good.
Or if you want to get food after your tour, that's also an option.
Yeah, it is also an option. But still, I mean, I would definitely make a reservation if you're wanting a specific time.
And the cool thing about that tour too was not only did he have a speaker, but it was one where he gave us little headsets to wear,
so we could hear.
The entire time.
Because all these tours, there were some areas that got a little loud because of the machinery. So
you get to see a lot of cool stuff. Both the process, you get to go into the rick houses and you get to go into, where they make it and ferment it and distill it.
And the rick houses were very cool because he was explaining the reasoning for the glass, the windows.
It's just the one main one. It's kind of like their flagship rick house.
The rest of them don't have windows. Yeah.
No, the rest of them are just normal rick houses that are,
But it was really interesting.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of really cool different bottles, and just overall aesthetics of the place was really cool.
Yep, we ended up getting a rye there that we didn't try on the tour because it was a single barrel that they had released, and it was one of the master distiller had gone around signing bottles secretly, and we managed to find one of those. So we did that.
The amount of signed bottles you came back.
And they have a lot of like their 4 core is the tour we did, and that's their main line, which you can find like here in Iowa and like other places. But then some of the other stuff, which is a little bit more spendy, which kind of like some of their finished products, some of their
stuff is really expensive.
Yeah, so interesting things that they're doing with the lineup, which the master distiller and their the owner, who I think passed away, was really into kind of innovating the bourbon space. I think they just changed up their bottle look too, which I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that or not, but that's beside the point. So,
and they do also have a location in Louisville. It's downtown in Whiskey Row, so if you don't quite make it out to Bardstown, they do have that as an option to go check out their line. So they don't do tours or anything, but they do tastings, and they have bottles available for sale.
Yep. So that was our our day 2, which we ended in Bardstown, and then we stayed.
And we stayed at Distill Inn.
Yes.
It was interesting. It felt like a chain hotel, but it wasn't. I think it used to be maybe like an old sort of chain hotel layout. The way they had it laid out kind of seemed like that. But it was nice. It was modern. Yeah. The bed was really nice. I kind of had to hop up onto the bed though, so if you're short, you might have problems with that bed. But the interesting thing I thought about that hotel was it didn't have a pool, but it had like not racquetball. It had like a court.
Oh.
A sports court thing. It was interesting.
I don't remember. I remember the delegate. I remember the name. Oh, now I remember.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It had a like chain hotel feel, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like it was still very boutique.
Yeah.
But in a setting that felt more like a chain hotel. The breakfast was included, which was nice.
Yes, breakfast was included.
So breakfast was not included at Delegate, but that's just because they didn't really have
a place
buffet
for it.
area kind of thing.
So that leads us into day 3, still in Bardstown.
But we were headed towards Louisville.
And then halfway through, we headed towards Louisville. So we finished up the day. We didn't finish the day. We started the day at Lux Row. More so.
Oh wait, can we go back?
Okay.
I'm so sorry, because I forgot. We ate at Talbot Tavern.
Oh.
I wanted to talk about that.
Okay.
So we ate at Talbot Tavern?
Talbot?
Talbot. Really cool place, and I'm pretty sure, that was in Bardstown. So Talbot Tavern was a restaurant, but it also has like a little museum inside of it too. The house was built in 1779, and it's known as the oldest Western stagecoach shop in America, which I thought was really neat, and the food there was really good. A little pricey, but honestly, the experience was worth it. A really cool building. Like you could tell it was a 1779 like cobblestone house. It was so cool. And then you could go upstairs, and I'm sorry, I'm like slowly going out of the frame. But they had a museum upstairs. You can kind of go through it. I had something else written in here that I wanted to bring up, but now, no, I lost it. But if you have a chance to go check that out and have dinner there, make a reservation because it's definitely worth it. You can also stay there if you want. They do have an in portion of it, so.
Okay.
So sorry. Now
we're on day three. We had a tour scheduled at Heaven Hill.
We did.
But that wasn't until I think 10.
It was like 10 or 10:30.
10 or 10:30. So Lux Row was just down the road from them, so we decided to kind of just go there when they opened, just to take a look. Unfortunately, their bar area didn't open till, when we had to be at Heaven Hill for our tour, so we didn't get to try anything there.
It looked cool. Like the bar looked really cool. But
yeah,
we just
it looked
go.
nice. They had some Rebel 10 years available. I've not really tried their line a lot, so I was wary to buy something that I at that price point that I'd never tried
because it was pricey,
or didn't know if I liked the flavor profile of their whiskey. So
if you're really wanting to check this place out, I would recommend going in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because that's when it seems to be hopping, or at least after 11.
Yeah.
Like go a little bit later in the morning, early afternoon, because they didn't have a lot open, unfortunately. But beautiful space. Just yeah.
And then we made our way to Heaven Hill, which was really interesting.
Really cool.
Tour. The lot of rick houses around, and there are different tours we could have gone on. I think we just did the normal tour on this one.
We did.
Too.
We just did the normal. They had a whole bunch of different things. They had tours. They had experiences. They had.
Yeah, well, we want to do the bottle fill experience that they had for Elijah
really
Craig.
Cool. They have a mixology experience that's really cool. What I enjoyed was actually before our tour almost, they had this whole walkthrough area.
It's like a museum
and it was
walkthrough,
so cool.
like of their whole history.
History of Heaven Hill. It gave history of like all their branches, so like Larceny,
Elijah
Craig. Like it was yeah.
And they even had like a little video area where you could watch a video about like a little
Very, very cool.
So we did the tour. The cool thing about this tour was you got free little mini Glencairns, which it's always nice when you take a tour and you get some kind of gift.
And they were on lanyards,
on lanyards. Because the cool thing I liked about this tour was the tasting itself was part of the tour. So you were going to different rick houses and learning about the history and about Heaven Hill and what they do.
And there's just a random
bottle just on the shelf that they're giving us pours from.
It was fun. I enjoyed that experience, honestly. I thought that was cool. Our tour guide was also really cool.
Yeah.
She was really fun.
And you learned that you liked Henry McKenna.
I did, and we finally found a bottle. Of McKenna, so now I can say.
Which apparently there was one available that somebody took the last one from our tour.
I was so
right
sad.
after, I was like, no.
And he was standing right next to me too. He's like, I think I got the final bottle. I'm like,
But if you are one of the Grain to Glass fans, they did have plenty of those available. So I picked up like one that I didn't have. So I think I got the rye and the bourbon now.
So I would say, in regards to like some of their like little, I don't want to say allocation drops, but they're kind of like an allocation drop. If you're there in the morning when they open, go to the gift shop first and just see what they have. Because you can always just carry that around with you on your tour, or maybe they might even hold it on.
A lot of places will hold it for you.
Because Wild Turkey held on to our
Wild Turkey held on to ours during our tour.
Because you bought a bottle of something.
I bought the A-year that I hadn't been able to find really down here. And I would say a lot of places end up doing drops during the day sometimes. Like I know Old Forester had a 10-year drop that we missed. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were outside of Michter's when we were going
drops in the morning,
to Peerless. Sure. None of it was the Michter's 10-year, I'm pretty sure. It was all like the Baumgartner stuff. So I was like, that's fine. But so yeah, Heaven Hill is really cool. And that was Was that the end of it? No.
No, there was more we went to.
That's right. That's because that was just the start.
We were driving to Louisville.
And then we drove to Louisville.
And you have to say Louisville and not Louisville.
Yeah.
They will correct you.
They will correct you.
They will correct you.
So we didn't have time to do much else. We did hit up Willett, which is also in Bardstown. We didn't do a tour or anything. They had a restaurant that looked really cool. I would actually want to just eat at the restaurant.
That one, I do know you need reservations to, because I did look at it, and it's pricey. B, you need reservations well in advance because it is very popular. Yep. So.
Very nice outdoor area. I think they had like some cornhole set up or something.
It was nice. It was kind of hot that day too, so I was like...
The bees were out though.
The bees were out in full force. I was like, So
yeah, we stopped at Willett. I tried a Willett Purple Top because they had like a few different ones. They had like all the way up to like 10, 12 year or something up there for like a lot of money. I think I just tried like the 4 or 6 year option.
And I sipped off of his because I was like, I don't know enough about Willett to really like...
So we went there, and then we also, as we were driving, saw the Jim Beam exit on our way.
I'm like, let's just go.
So we went to Jim Beam.
We're here.
We had time, and we ended up doing a tasting at Jim Beam.
We did. We both did.
Yes, we both did our own. We did our own little tasting.
So a lot of the tours we both did our own because it's included with the tour. But sometimes we would, at some of these other distilleries, I want to do my own because with Jim Beam we could kind of pick different flights, and we picked different ones.
If it's not part of the tour and you're just doing a tasting, a lot of times you'll just get to choose what you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tried like the Knob Creek 12 year. I tried like some other stuff, and ended up picking up a Knob Creek 12.
I know. I tried a Knob Creek, but it wasn't the 12. I think it was something else. But
you tried.
I did try a few ryes though.
You tried the Burr Rye.
I did.
Yeah.
So I found out on this trip I like rye, which really shocks me. But because even Dwight at Wild Turkey was like, "Oh yeah, ryes are," because I liked the rye there too. So. Yeah. Yep. Crazy, but Jim Beam, really nice place. I want to do a tour or an experience there.
Yes,
I want to go back because it seemed really, really cool, and some of their tours sounded interesting.
Yeah. So then we hit up Louisville, and our first stop was Old Forester, one of my favorite brands. Before I started drinking, like the benchmark bonded for my go-to, like for old fashions, I was doing the 100 proof Old Forester, like day in, day out. So went there with the hopes of possibly getting a 10-year, but no.
No luck.
So we did the tour there, which was really cool. They do their own barreling. They
showed us how they did it.
They build their barrels. So a lot of people use, I think it's called Kelvin Cooperage, to build their barrels and everything like that. But Old Forester does their own. So we got to see them like, char it and everything. So that was the cool part that was slightly different than the other tours. And then we did a tasting, which had the best side. Sometimes you'll get like a chocolate or something along it.
Oh yeah, the chocolate.
They had they partnered with this chocolate maker or something like that, and it's like a chocolate covered marshmallow. It was so good. It was
so good. We ended up buying some.
It was so good.
Because they were so good, and now that you reminded me of that, I miss those. we let me tell you, we like only had those when we brought them home on a special like occasion.
Yeah, if we were drinking whiskey, we would have them with the whiskey. We would not just eat them because.
Oh man, but I wanted to. It was so good.
Yeah, they were good. They were good. I mean,
so good.
Think like a more bougie, way better, like Russell Stover, like chocolate covered marshmallow that you would get at Christmas or something, but like way better.
Oh, it was so good.
Hands down.
So if you go to Old Forester, make sure to pick up a package of those because so good, or 2.
So that was the end of our day 3.
Yep.
And
we stayed at, it was Marriott Fairfield Inn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I picked it was because it was literally within walking distance of Whiskey Row, and it didn't have a high parking fee. So if you stay downtown Louisville by Whiskey Row, more than likely you're going to have a parking fee for the hotel per day, depending where you're staying at. So just be mindful of that when you're picking out something. But I highly suggest if you can find a hotel within walking distance of Whiskey Row, do it. Because it's so worth it. And then you don't have to fight downtown traffic in Louisville.
Yeah, and we walked everywhere.
Yeah, we walked everywhere. It was great.
Slightly drunk sometimes. So then we stayed the night, and then we woke up in the morning and had our free hotel breakfast.
Yep.
And we went to Peerless. So Peerless is just starting to get into Iowa. I'd heard a lot of cool things about their double oak bourbon and their double oak rye. So I was like, want to do the tour, want to try that, want to see what they have. And the tour was cool. I mean, it was your traditional, like, here's what we do. They're more of a, I wouldn't call them like a big distillery. They're a craft distillery.
They're smaller.
They definitely, they only have a few fermentation tanks open at a time. Only the one still, and so they aren't producing as much as your Buffalo Trace, your Wild Turkey. So their products are a little bit more expensive, especially for like the single barrels and stuff. But the best thing was the tour guy. So you tried 4 things. He would have you try the traditional four things, but they had their whole gamut, lineup. The whole lineup right there. Like even like some of the stuff that was just released that was out there.
And I thought he was gonna be like, oh yeah, just pick 4, right? No.
So he gave us 4 specifically, and then it's like,
oh, what else are you gonna try?
And then I'm like, okay, well, I want to try that because I didn't get to try it, and I want to try that because I didn't get to try it.
Oh my God.
And we had hadn't had much food at the time, because it was like 10 o'clock that we're drinking all this whiskey, and so we left Peerless a little tipsy. So
but he was so funny. Because he's just like, oh, what else do you want to try? Here. And, like, he wasn't even watching his pours. I'll be honest, he was not watching his pours.
Well, and there was this group of...
ladies. Oh, my God. They were my favorite. So, literally, these 2 gals and their husbands were there. And the husbands, clearly, they were there for the whiskey and the experience and all that. The ladies, they couldn't care less, but they were just having a ball.
Yeah. They were an experience, for sure.
Oh, my gosh. And they were also tipsy. Like, there's no way you get... Oh, it was so
But yeah, so that was really fun.
Funny.
And then we had some time to spare because I scheduled the 10 a.m. Peerless, and then we were doing Angel's Envy like end of the day.
It was like 4 o'clock. I remember it was like before they closed.
So that way we could just kind of roam around. So we hit up Michter's, and we went up to their kind of bar area, which is really cool.
And usually you have to wait. For us, it was nice because it was like a 10-minute wait.
Yeah.
We're only 2 people though too, because it's really small up there. But it was a really cool experience. It's just a little narrow room, and they had options of drinks you can have, and then they even had some pub mix that we could snack on while
pub mix was really good. We did a tasting. I think was it the rye tasting?
I think it was the rye tasting because I remember specifically trying the 10-year.
Yeah. So you have a few options. You could do like a really, really special tasting for a little bit more money, which is going to be like, both 10 years and like some other, of their more allocated stuff. And then you have like just your traditional. So yeah, we did the rye one, which had the Michter's 10-year rye, which was phenomenal. Makes me really, really want to find a Michter's 10-year, either of the bourbon or the rye at some point, but it's really hard to come by in Iowa.
So hard to find.
Yeah, it's so hard. So that was really good, and then we left from there. We went to Green River, which was down the road.
And Green River was really interesting.
They're a newer distillery.
Yeah.
We did a tasting there as well.
We did.
Of their almost 4 core lineup of what they had. And then I tried
the rye tie.
They had this
which is a bottle that you can only get there. It was good. It's literally a Mai Tai, but they added a rye to it.
They make it with a rye instead of your traditional.
And it was great. I ended up coming home with a bottle, and that thing was gone within a few months because you pour it over ice, and it was great. That was it.
And then I picked up the single barrel that they had there. So yeah, by this time it was time for lunch because we were getting sloshed. Thank goodness we were walking.
Yeah.
No.
We went to Subway.
We just went to Subway.
We went to Subway.
Yeah. We just went
That's
to Subway
right.
for lunch
We just went to Subway.
It was on the way.
Great,
one of the other places we stopped at was Evan Williams Experience, which we definitely want to do like a cocktail making thing there or something.
They have a cocktail making.
They have some fun like non-toury stuff because Evan Williams is a part of Jim Beam, I'm pretty sure. So it's just like their specific Evan Williams products, and they have like a bar up there which we tried a drink at, which was really good.
We grabbed a drink, and it was nice to just sit and kind of look, and it was nice.
And it's kind of the history of just Evan Williams and everything. So yeah, it was really cool to kind of just check it out.
They had a nice little shop and like a little area too that kind of just explained the history of Evan Williams, which was really neat.
Yep. And then we took a break. We took all of the stuff that we had back to the hotel, took a short break. And then we ended up going, stopping by Rabbit Hole before our Angel's Envy tour. So Rabbit Hole is one that I've also seen that's fairly newer. Their distillery was beautiful as well.
Yeah, very artsy. Like
I love
really
the look of their bottles. I love their single barrel drops that they always do. It's like themed. So like I have one of their single barrels like from an allocation here in Iowa, and it was like the White Rabbit, and I can't remember which specific offering it was, but it was all Alice in Wonderland themed. So when we were there, I ended up picking up the Derringer, which was their PX Sherry cask finish, which was delicious.
Their tasting, though, I will tell you, their tasting was delicious, but it was expensive.
If you're doing the full single barrel, yes, it's going to be expensive.
Like, we split it.
We split it. It was
because
still like,
it
was like $40 or something or more.
No, more than that.
It was more than that. It was expensive.
Because I paid for it. It was more than that.
It was more than that. So yeah, their single barrel artist series is what they call it, and it's so they have an artist do a specific rendering of drawings. This one was Alice in Wonderland themed. Mm-hmm. I know there's some other ones out there that are not that are newer, but I can't remember what those are. I definitely actually would like to take the tour there. You can kind of see people on it. So it was really kind of cool, like just looking in and stuff.
I think that's one tour I'd want to go back and like just do a tour with them because they just seem different.
So yeah, did that, and then we rushed over to Angel's Envy, and they were, Angel's Envy is known for their finished bourbon. So all of their bourbon is like that. I can't remember if it's like a port wine finish or what it is, but they're starting to do other stuff now. We tried a rye, we bought a rye that was finished in Scotch casks, I think. So it's like. It has that peaty note to it, like a Scotch, but it was a rye, which, was very interesting.
They also had us try their White Dog, which I'm glad I did not try it. Nick tried it, and I just watched his reaction. I'm like, nope.
So yeah, the tasting, you got like 3 little chocolates, which was nice. I always, I judge a tasting by the glassware that they provide the whiskey in. Is it a plastic cup, or is it a like specific, like is it a Glencairn? Is it a nice little just tasting cup? So like they had nice little tasting cups.
Did we have any plastic cup?
Oh yeah, Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace was regular plastic cups.
Was Buffalo Trace the only one? I think they were.
I can't remember.
No. Castle and Key, I think.
That was, but that was just at the bar.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like the
Buffalo
tour
Trace,
and tasting.
It was interesting at Buffalo Trace because the actual tour, like the tasting, I was like, this is not anything like we've had so far. Like everything else has been these nice Glencairns or like.
I mean, I think the Russell's Reserve one was. It was nice plastic cups. I mean, it wasn't like a little tiny like sipper thing.
Oh yeah, it was like nice.
But yeah, so I mean, it just depends. So we had those, and then did we do dinner or did we? Yeah, we did dinner. We did dinner
after Angel's Envy. We went to not Sidebar because Sidebar was previous night dinner. We went to Troll Pub under the bridge,
which is really cool.
It was fun. But I do remember being a little tipsy.
We were very slightly tipsy, so like we were trying to like not overdo it for food. She had the pasta, and I had.
Oh wait, that was after Whiskey Thief, wasn't it?
I think that was before Whiskey Thief.
That might have been okay.
Where did we eat the night before then?
Sidebar.
Sidebar.
It was that burger.
Oh yes.
Which that was good too. So if you go to Sidebar or Troll Under the Bridge pub.
Yeah.
Those 2 places, very good food. Very good food.
Sidebar, I will say it's based off of like a courtroom. Yes. So it's like all their burgers and like their drinks and stuff are very like court based. Like I think I had like the judges something or whatever burger.
It was still good.
It was good. Great. It was good. It was heavy, but it was good.
It was heavy, but it was good. But I mean, with the amount we were drinking, we kind of needed to eat some heavy stuff to soak up all the liquor.
Yeah. So, yeah, we had a lot of fried food on that
Yeah,
trip too. A lot of fries, a lot of whatever.
Burgers, Angel's Envy, I will say, with the flight that we had, for the tasting, they did 3 chocolates.
Yeah.
So within, like, after certain ones, they would tell you, like, hey,
try it with this chocolate.
Try with this chocolate. It was great. Yeah. So then, after we ate at Troll Under the Bridge Pub, we went to Whiskey Thief. Now, Whiskey Thief is one of the few distilleries that's open super late. So if you want to go check this place out, wait until later after all the other distilleries closed, because you want to get to the ones that close first. But this one was really, I have never seen anything like this. They had a live musician, which they do at a lot of the distilleries for some of them. But this one, they actually had you, like, thieve it out of the barrel, which was really cool. And Nick did that.
So Whiskey Thief, you really can't get anywhere. It's literally just there. And that's kind of their whole shtick, is like, you are thieving the whiskey from the barrel. So they had a few lined up for the day. And that's kind of why they were open late, is because it's almost like a bar mentality. So you could go there, you could try, you could buy like 4 pours from them.
I did do a pour.
So we bought some pours to kind of try them before we like actually thieved a bottle. And then you could buy a specific size of bottle. And then they would like label it and put everything on there for you. And that's how that was done. I don't know if they have like any tours or anything like that. We didn't really look at them for that to like go through their rick house or anything. But the whole shtick of it is like actually thieving the whiskey. So like that's the experience that we really wanted.
Which was cool.
So yeah, and it's with the actual, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called.
Isn't it just called a thief?
A whiskey thief. So it's those little rods that you kind of like put your thumb on to kind of stop it, and then you let go of and then it kind of just pours in there. I'm
pretty sure I have a video.
She has a video of me.
Hopefully we can put this in.
Put it in as B-roll, but it was really cool. And we came back with a rye for that. And then that was the trip.
That was the trip. And then if you look at the blog, you will see a picture at the very bottom of Nick's stash that he brought back, the overall haul, and I listed everything that he brought back.
20 bottles.
It was a lot.
Spent over $1,000.
We did, I think, just about 16 distilleries total. 7 tours, 16 distilleries.
Yep. So we'll talk about basically just those 7 when we do our ranking.
Yes.
But we'll probably have some honorable mentions from the ones we went to that we didn't tour. If anyone's interested in the haul, I'll just kind of list it off here real quick. Castle and Key Rye, Castle and Key Seasonal Gin, the Rye's Gin, 2 Russell's 13s, a Wild Turkey 8-year, each Taylor Small Batch 2, Eagle Rare 2, one I gave to a friend because he was watching our dog, Weller's Special Reserve, Bardstown Single Barrel Rye, signed by Steve Nally, the master distiller, Heaven Hill Grain and Glass Weeded, Green River Rye Tie, Green River Single Barrel, Rabbit Hole Single Barrel Derringer, Knob Creek 12, Angel's Envy Peated Cask Rye, Peerless Single Barrel Rye, signed by the owner, Corky Tail,
which we
got to meet, cool. And he was there too, so we didn't speak to that, but he's really cool. And the Peerless Double Oak that we got signed, and the Whiskey Thief. So
now the Single Barrel Rye, that was my buy from Peerless, and then obviously the Rye Tie. And I'm pretty sure I bought one more, but I don't remember.
I think you bought the Rye's Gin, wasn't it?
Yes, I bought the Rye's. So I only came back with 3 bottles.
And I came back with a lot.
Yeah. But I loved the Single Barrel Rye from Peerless because it was their distillery only one. And it's like cinnamon French toast is the flavor profile. And it's really good.
And I will say, like, yeah, we bought a lot of bourbon on this trip, but we also bought, a few souvenirs. We from the tours, we actually got a few like mini Glencairns, which was really cool. I also bought a nice kind of polo, button-up shirt at Bardstown, which is really cool. It's kind of got barrels and stuff on it, and their B logo. But I mean, that's
it's so cool.
It's you don't see it too hard, so I mean, you could just think it's like a bourbon shirt. And then I bought a hat from just kind of like a bourbon trail gift shop that they had on Whiskey Row.
This is my bourbon.
That said, "This is my bourbon drinking hat," and she got a.
I just got a bourbon trail
shirt. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of gift shop opportunities here. So spend wisely.
Yes, whiskey is expensive. So, but you're not going to drink it all and, like, you know, we still have a lot of stuff left from when we went. So.
And if anybody has any questions about anything we talked about in here, please feel free to let us know in the comments, and we'll try and read and answer each one. And then we'll be back with our tips and tricks and our distillery ranking, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.
Thanks for joining us, guys.